using the Quiet Meadow stamp set from the new catalogue from Stampin Up 2021 to 2022. And I'm going to use this image here with heat embossing. I'm Amy from eagertostamp.com and welcome to my channel. So to start off with this technique, I'm going to be using my Stamparatus. So I have a mask that I'm going to be using. I'm going to sponge over the heat embossing a bit later and it will look absolutely divine. So to do that and to take into account the mask, I need it to be 1 centimeter from the edge of my card. So the Stamparatus is fantastic with providing the guidelines to be able to do that. So first of all, I'm going to be inking up the image with Versamark. But before I do that, I need to make sure that there is no static left on my card that's going to pick up any random bits of embossing powder. We want to just have a beautiful, clear image of those flowers. So just removing the static there with my embossing buddy. Then I'm going to bring the stamp set in and using Versamark, just going to ink up the stamp. So just patting lightly over the top of the stamp. Getting lots of ink in there. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Okay. Right now I'm going to close up the Stamparatus. Okay, just press gently down onto the stamp. Okay, get all the ink down on the card. All right, and now I'm ready to emboss. So for embossing, I'm going to remove it from the Stamparatus. And I'm going to use this scrap paper down here, folded in the middle, because it will help me to put the powder back into the container when I'm finished. Right, I'm just going to be using the white Stampin' Emboss powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle over the image. Okay, there's a few lumps and bumps in that one, but it's all right because they don't stick. So we're just going to swish it around and then we're going to bump it off, flick on the back of the card. It helps to get any excess off. Okay, have a look. Oh, that looks gorgeous. All right, now before I heat emboss that, I'm just going to move things out of the way and I'm going to tip that powder back into the container. So fold it up in the middle and then tipping back into the container, just as simple as that. Alright, I'm not going to do any more embossing today, so I'm just going to put those to the side. I'm just going to heat emboss this over at my other workstation. You'll hear a big noise. Right, and there we go. We have got our heat embossed flower image from the Quiet Meadow stamp set. And you were probably wondering why I've done white on white. It's crazy, but that's because I'm going to turn this into a sponged card front. To start off with this technique, I'm going to use a mask. So I've just cut a piece of grid paper from the Stampin Up grid pad, and on the back there I've actually just put some of our multi-purpose glue, rubbed it to the edge, and then I've left it to dry, and what that gives you is actually a tacky surface, very much like a sticky note, and when you peel it off it won't rip away any of the card base. So I would like to have, I'm going from edge to edge, top to bottom, and I'm going to come in about 1 centimeter from the left edge. So I'm just going to put that there and then just lightly run my finger over the top. Okay, today I'm going to be using Calypso Coral and Pale Papaya. They make a beautiful combination. This is an in color for 2021-2022, and it is gorgeous. Pairs beautifully with Calypso Coral. So hang on in there and I'll show you how. We're going to start off with our darker color, the Calypso Coral. I'm just using sponges, and you're just going to pick up some ink from the pad, and then I like to use a circular motion. So I'm going to come in from the outside, circling from the bottom, and I'm going to move my way up to about halfway. I grab some more ink, again starting at the bottom and then just bringing it up into the middle. Okay, I'd like just to go a bit darker down the bottom here. Right. I'm just doing a very light circle. Right. And I'd like to bring in the Pale Papaya now. So same idea. I'm going to come in from the top, meeting into the middle. So just picking up some ink and then starting at the top, circling around and bringing it down. Again, so just lightly on the top and bringing it down, meeting the Calypso Coral in the middle. Okay, and then you've got that kind of ombre effect happening. And you can build up the colour as much as you like. What I'm looking for here is just avoiding the streaks of the sponge and really getting that blend of the Calypso Coral and the Pale Papaya. So I'm coming down. The Pale Papaya is the lighter one, so it's the best one to bring down over your darker colour. Okay, so I've just brought that down there, and I think that looks fabulous. It really did bring out that white heat embossed image of the meadow flower. Okay, so once I have finished my sponging and I'm happy with it, I'm now just going to lift up the mask. And as I said, I have made it a temporary stick with multi-adhesive. Look at how beautifully that is working. Okay, you don't want to be pressing down too hard. You really want this to be able to come off. Oh, I am so happy with that. I'm going to keep this mask. But that's come up beautifully and it came off fantastically, so I'm really happy. So we've got our card base layer here with our lovely white heat embossed meadow flowers image, and then that beautiful sponged background of Calypso Coral and Pale Papaya. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some of this beautiful Pale Papaya and white ribbon that's in the current catalogue, and I'm going to probably place it about here with this lovely bow, and I'm going to stamp from the Quiet Meadow stamp set this sentiment: heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. And I'm going to stamp that in basic grey, just about probably here, just above the ribbon. And I'm going to use basic grey to stamp that in, just to give it a more of a softer look, because it is just such a beautiful soft card. Right, so we need our basic grey, ink up our stamp, so just dabbing it there. I'll just ink it up a bit more. Okay, and just centering it between the sponging and the edge of the card, probably about there. And I'm going to press down on it, give it a good press, not too hard. You don't want to be smushing the background, and then you get that horrible inky outline of the whole stamp. You just want those words. Okay, let's have a look at that. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Yeah, really happy with that. Very clear stamp impression with that one. Beautiful. All right, we're going to clean off that stamp and we're going to bring in that ribbon. I'm going to be using some Stampin' Seal, which is going to secure that ribbon really nicely to the card. And I will also add a glue dot just under the bow, just to help that to stay securely on the card. Now I really want this to run underneath my sentiment, so I'm just going to, and a nice straight line straight across the card like that. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put that glue dot just on the back of the bow. Put that up there. Okay. I would like the bow go about there. Just going to maneuver the ribbon a bit. And try and get a straight edge, and this one as well. And try and get as straight an edge as we can. I just need to have a look at that. So yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. So we're going to tuck that behind, and we're going to tuck that behind as well. Okay, and the glue dot was doing a magnificent job. Yeah, I'll play with the ribbon when I'm finished. So just going to cut off an edge there, and I could stick all of that behind, but just to lessen the bulk on the card, I'll just cut that off. Sorry about that, my bin's just there. I'm going to again just put a little bit of this Stampin' Seal there, and some more Stampin' Seal there. Okay, bend it over and secure. Bend it over and nice and secured. And I'll tidy that bow up once it's on the card front. Now what I might, you know, it's got such a really soft look here. I'm thinking of rounding the corners, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back here and mount that onto the card front. I think just really adds to that that subtle look that we've got happening there. We'll get our dimensionals. I'm going to use the nice big Stampin Dimensionals. So we want to place in the corners and in the center. Just a couple on the center, because you don't want any of that, you know, like a dipping happening on the card. Okay, so we're just going to take off the sticky backs. We're going to line this up now with my card base. So it's the exact same size as the card base. So we want the top and the sides all nice and flush. That looks lovely. Okay, now because we rounded those corners, thank you for watching, and I hope that you get a chance to try this technique with one of your cards. Bye.